Hey guys, Jenna here. In today's video, we're going to travel to Portland, Oregon to check out one young woman's gorgeous tiny house, which she designed herself. And when it comes to form and function, she has thought of absolutely everything. My favorite part is probably the floating staircase. Alright guys, let's take a tour. But first, I'd like to thank Nomad Internet for sponsoring this video. Nomad is the only truly unlimited internet you can use in rural areas and while on the road. Stay connected wherever you are without any extra fees. To find out more, check out the link in the description.
Make this house our tiny home.
Hey, I'm KESIA. We're here in Portland, Oregon, and I'm really excited to show you my tiny house. Growing up, my parents are developers, builders, designers, so I've kind of been around the design world most of my life. After graduating architecture school, I didn't really have a plan of necessarily where I wanted to live, kind of moving from place to place, never really got a chance to settle down. My dad mentioned that we had a friend who had just built a tiny home. We went to go look at it, and he said if I was 100% in, that he would spend the time to help me design and build it. Going to architecture school, that's something that every designer dreams of doing. We worked on it every Saturday for about 3 years. It was a really fun kind of group effort from everyone. At the end of it all, the fact that I was able to build this with my dad, just such a wonderful experience to have with him. Having spent a year solid designing the house and then 3 years building it gave me a lot of time to kind of perfect what I wanted rather than building a space and kind of conforming to it. I really wanted to focus on creating a space around what I knew I needed, like a cozy sweater that's just always fit. The trailer, I would say, is about the biggest single expense in terms of the construction of the house. That came in at $5,000. Overall, I think furnished, I probably spent $60,000. Once the tiny house was done, we were ready to move it. I was lucky enough to be able to park it in a friend's backyard. About 6 months or so into being there, they ended up moving, and it luckily coincided with my boyfriend starting to look for his own house and property. One of the guidelines for a property was that the tiny house could fit on it. And we were able to find this really cute little house. My home sits exactly 11 feet away from his. Kind of created an awesome little space between our two homes to share and grow. I think one of the most enjoyable things for me living in a smaller space is really just the intention behind it. It doesn't take away energy that you could be using for more enjoyable parts of your life. So we're on the outside of my house. It's a 24-foot long trailer, 8.5 feet wide, dual axle. Got a butterfly roof on top. The vertical siding is reclaimed cedar wood. It's about 100 years old. This space was really important to me, just, tool storage, as well as having a designated space that it was easy to get to all of my utilities. For my water heater, it's a dual system, closed for my hydronic radiant floor heat and an open system for my domestic water, and then I've got a 100 amp panel. Living in a climate that can get cold at times, it was really important to keep all my pipes insulated. Even though this closes up and away from the weather, it still can get a little cold and you don't want these to freeze. So we're here on my deck and still a little unfinished, working on it. This was a summer project. It's been really great to kind of have more outdoor space. Super easy 2x4 construction. Actually got these great floor panels from IKEA, really inexpensive. The nice thing is I wanted something that wasn't too permanent, so if I need to pick this up and move it, I can just take it all apart and I can reuse the materials. At night, it's really nice to come out here beneath the twinkle lights and we hang out, especially in the summertime. It's nice to have this added square footage with the tiny home. So I've got 12 windows in the house. All the lower ones are casement and they're nice and big, and I can open them up pretty well so I get a lot of airflow. And all the ones up top are awning. I can have them open on a rainy day and I'm not getting any water inside. Being from Hood River, I do a lot of outdoor sports, and a really important aspect for me was to have space for all the toys. So, got the toy shed. I'm really big into kiteboarding, stand-up paddling, surfing, so I've got all the boards lined up here, wetsuits, I've got my skis hung up, kind of miscellaneous tennis racket, leashes, things like that all organized. And then on the other side I've got my bike hanging and all my kites. So this shed is actually an additional 3 feet of space that we added on to the 24-foot trailer. Nice amount of space for a short amount of cantilever. All right, that's the outside. Let's take a look at the inside. Welcome to the inside of my home. When I was thinking about creating the space, I really wanted something that felt bright and airy and open, while also creating a bit of warmth. So to do that, I really wanted to start with kind of a backdrop of smooth white walls, and then from there I could add other elements in. The white is really nice to contrast with a lot of the wood. I've got 100-year-old reclaimed wood here, as well as on the underneath of my loft here. One thing I really wanted before I ever started thinking about tiny homes was I wanted to start buying my own furniture. I didn't own a mattress, a bed, a couch. I own nothing. I like to say that the house was built around the couch. I really wanted this couch for years before I even thought about building tiny. Being able to design a space around the things that I wanted and the quality things that I wanted was really important to me. This is where I like to come and unwind after a long day. This couch makes me feel like I'm home. So an office was a really important part for me to design into the house. I do a lot of freelance architecture work outside of my full-time job. I'm working full-time from home, and now with COVID, this little space of my home has become more important than ever. Before COVID, for the last year and a half or so, this wall over here was white, plain, nothing really exciting. In March, I painted that pink, added the greenery, really warmed that up, added some photos, and so it's just kind of created a much more welcoming space, somewhere that I do want to spend hours every single day. One of the ways that I was able to get this much of an office space was this cantilevered staircase. So it would have been a lot harder to have this space if I had storage, stairs, anything like that. The depth of the stairs was also determined based on kind of my proximity here. I didn't want to hit my head. A great thing as well is it doubles as a shelf when I'm working. I love it. This is my kitchen. Pretty simple to build out. These are all IKEA cabinets. Pretty straightforward. What I did have to do with these though, because there's the wheel well behind it, I had to cut out space in the cabinets to fit those wheel wells. So some of the drawers, for example, this one's a lot longer, this one's a lot shorter. So I've got a 2-burner induction stovetop, really efficient because it only heats the pan, not the space around it. So I was on the hunt for an appliance that was gonna cook food any way I wanted it to. And this thing is a dream. It bakes, it roasts, it fries, slow cooks, dehydrates. Finding something like this is a game changer in a small space. I wanted to find a sink that was not just going to act as a sink. So I wanted something really big, and I was able to find a sink that did triple duty, if not more. It's got a cutting board here, so if I'm making food on the countertop, my cutting board isn't encroaching on that. I also have a drying rack. Since I don't have a dishwasher, I can take any of these things out and have one big sink for washing produce, anything like that, any sort of prep work. So I spent a lot of time searching for a fridge that was closer to a regular size than, just a mini fridge. This thing is counter depth, which makes a huge difference in a small space. You don't have something taking up, an extra 4 to 6 inches of space. Got plenty of space in here for everything I need. I've got 2 freezer drawers, a lot of great extra space there. Then we come over here to the pantry. I've got dog food, all the things I need. Massive tea collection, was not gonna get rid of that regardless of how small my space is. So this is my walk-in closet. Got plenty of hanging space. Got a couple of hat racks that pull out and tuck away. All my shelves and drawers, nicely organized. Down below, some shoe storage. And then this is really exciting. I wanted all my sneakers displayed, and I had about 4 inches of extra space between my closet and the wall. And what I did is I found these CD racks from IKEA, and I actually modified them and made them narrower. So there are 3 racks deep, and then what I had to do is cut them down, kind of recut all of these shelves, put them in, and all my shoes sit just in line with each other, and they're all on display. I like to say I dabbled a little bit in the sneakerhead world. One thing I would like to think that separates me from a lot of shoe collectors is I do actually wear the shoes. They're dirty, they're creased. I know that might hurt a lot of people's hearts, but they're well loved. They're great shoes. They get a lot of use. This is the other side of my closet. A little bit of storage space up top. Below the hanging, I have my combo washer dryer. This thing has been awesome. It works like a champ. No venting necessary, which was huge. Didn't have to cut any more holes in the house. This is my sink space. I've got a decent amount of storage down below. Got some extra storage space in the medicine cabinet here for kind of my go-to things every morning. So this is my little spa shower. I wanted something that was kind of moody and dark, and when I'm really feeling like I need to, I'll dim the lights in here, and I've got my eucalyptus. I'll turn on some music, and it's just somewhere I can come and unwind. The tile finish, I'm really excited about. It matches my countertop. It did add about 700 pounds of weight to the house, which is not ideal, but to me it was worth it. So I've shown you the whole downstairs, and now I'm gonna take you upstairs to my sleeping loft. Nice and cozy up here. Have a couple small windows that lets the morning light in. It's really nice to just kind of lay here and let that light stream in. I love being so close to the ceiling, just especially on the nights when it's raining, and just puts you to sleep. I'm gonna take you up to the other loft. So this is my storage loft. Kind of holds everything else that doesn't fit down below. Got all the rest of my sneakers and my sneaker boxes up here. Got these pull-out drawers, which are great for kind of out-of-season clothes. It's a good extra use of space. If I really wanted to, it would fit a blow-up mattress, anything like that if I had a guest that needed to come stay. I'm coming up on about 2 years of living in the tiny house. It feels like it hasn't been that long. It's gone by too fast. I would like to think that if someone walks into my home, they get a sense of me and they understand who I am and what I enjoy and my style, and it really feels like it's my home. You don't have to give up on something that one person might not see as a necessity if to you it's something that makes you happy. This works for me and it makes me happy, and I want people to be able to do that for themselves.